Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. My candle has gone out. Hang on. We welcome everyone to Temple Ohev Sholom, either in person or on live stream. Thank you for... No, you have a day. Yeah. Thank you for wearing your masks. All right, we're going to start again. Gloria, would you go find John and get me a book of matches? Thanks. Well, somebody find John and let's get a book of matches. You have a book of matches? Then, You know, I've been practicing doing Simchat Torah by myself, juggling 2 Torah scrolls. I'm not an octopus, but okay. Let's take a cleansing breath. Let's let any of the aggravation of the past 5 minutes leave us. And let's prepare to welcome Shabbat. All right, let's turn to page 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Let's turn now to page 123 for Shabbat Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikrae kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. L'chadodi, page 138. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shahamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'vi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emune am segula, bo'vi kala. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Let's rise now and turn to page 264 for Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach she'arim uvitvuna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmarotehem barakia kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umabdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tsevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 266. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world. In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth. In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. The Shema is on page 267. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta, page 268. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 269. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. Michamelcha, page 270. Yam bam 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 bibi bam ya ba 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 bim bam. Yam bam 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 bibi bam ya ba 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 bim bam. Ay 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 ya ba 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 bim bam. Ay 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 ya ba 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 bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar Bakodesh, Norat Hiloto Sefel, Norat Hiloto Sefel, Yam bam 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 bibi bam ya ba 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 bim bam, Yam bam 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 bibi bam ya ba 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 bim bam, ay 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 ya ba 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 bim bam, ay 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 ay. Let's continue together on page 271. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru, page 272. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. B'ni uven b'nei Yisrael ut hi Leolam, Odhi Leolam, Veshamru V'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Kish yeshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, Veshamru V'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom ha-shvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Let's rise for tefillah, page 273. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiya yitehilatecha Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיח ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Let's continue together on page 278. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Be gracious, Adonai, our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. O may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Page 281. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha ne'el lehodot. Shalom Rav, page 282. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Let's pause for a moment of silent reflection. יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Let's rise now, please, and turn to page 362 for Seder Kriyat HaTorah. Continue with the Torah service. Ein kamocha ba'elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha, malachutecha, malachut kol olamim, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. ברוך שנתן Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenotan, Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'Kdushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad. Eloheinu Gadol, Adonenu Kadosh Shemo, Lechol Adonai Hagedula V'Hagivura V'Hatiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hahod. Ki chol v'shamayim uvaretz, ki chol v'shamayim uvaretz, lechol Adonai hamamlacha v'hamitnaseh lechol lerosh. Good God. Please be seated. All right. So, due to nobody's fault, it is Simchat Torah. We're observing Simchat Torah. We're not marching around. We don't have flags. It's different. It's different. But I have to tell you, Jews have been around for 5,000 years, and we've been reading from the Torah scroll for at least 2,000 that I can count. And there has never been a time when we are observing Simchat Torah that we don't hear the end of the Torah portion and learn about the death of Moses and go right into the beginning of Bereshit and learn the creation story one after another. And we've been through everything, okay? So there's stories of during the Spanish Inquisition of people having Torah scrolls in the basement, and there's stories of in the camps, people smuggling maybe not an actual scroll, but going through the holiday of reading the end of the Torah and going to the beginning of the Torah and not stopping. And we are a very resilient people. And whether we're wearing masks or not masks or whatever's going on, we're going to do this, okay? Even if there's one person up here pretending to be an octopus with all kinds of, all of this stuff. So if you're in a place where you're saying, gee, wouldn't it be nice if we could march around with the Torah scrolls, and wouldn't it be nice, and God willing, next year, it'll be very nice. But right now, we have work to do. And we have to finish reading the scroll, and we have to begin with the next scroll. So I'm going to ask you to join with me in the blessing before we read from the Torah. It's in your prayer books, right? Do you have it, Abby, in front of you? Oh, I have it. It's 368. And it's even transliterated. Look at that. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Okay. V'yamat sham Moshe Eved Adonai be'eretz Moav al pi Adonai. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died in the land of Moab at the insistence of God. V'yikvor oto b'gei be'eretz Moav mul Beit Peor. And he was buried in the land of Moab, opposite Beit Peor. V'lo yada ish et korbato ad hayom hazeh. And no one knows the exact place till this day. Umoshe ben mea ve'esrim shana b'moto, and Moses was 120 years old when he died. Lo kahachta einav, his eye was not dim, v'lo nas lecho, and his strength was still with him. All right, good for Moses. Okay, I wish I had Moses' strength. V'yachu b'nei Yisrael et Moshe ba'arbat Moab shloshim yom. And the people mourned Moses for 30 days in the land of Moab. V'yitmo yamei bechi evel Moshe. And then the days of mourning were over. V'Yehoshua bin Nun malah ruach chokhmah. And now Joshua the son of Nun, who was endowed with the spirit of wisdom, ki samach Moshe et yadcha alav, because Moses placed his hands on him, v'yishma'u elav b'nei Yisrael v'ya'asu ka'asher tziva Adonai et Moshe. And the people of Israel obeyed him according to the commandment that God gave Moses. V'lo kam navi od b'Yisrael k'Moshe. And there has never been a prophet in Israel like Moses. Asher yadu Adonai panim al panim, who knew the Lord face to face. L'chol ha'atav ha'maflim asher shalachu Adonai la'asot be'eretz Mitzrayim, for all of the signs and the wonders that Moses wrought in the land of Egypt, L'Pharaoh, Ulechol Abdo, Ulechol Artso, in front of the Pharaoh and his officers and the people, Ulechol Hayad Chazaka, Lechol Hamoro, and all of the great wonder, Hagadol Asher Asa Moshe Le'enei Kol Israel, and all of the great strength that he displayed in the sight of all of Israel. When we're done with the Torah, we say, Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazeh. With me? Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazeh. It means may we go from strength to strength. Let's do our Mishaberach prayer together. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who heals the sick. And we say amen. And now we can do the blessing after the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. And now please rise as I prepare the Torah scroll. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יא לה לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה. You may be seated. And this scroll is completely rolled to the very beginning. And we begin in the beginning. As soon as I get the cover off. Okay. And now we do this twice. Let's do the blessing before we read from the Torah. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve'et ha'aretz. In the beginning, the Lord created the heavens and the earth. V'ha'aretz haita tohu vavohu, and the earth was unformed and void. V'choshech al penei tahom, and there was darkness upon the universe. V'ruach Elohim merafethet kol penei hamayim, and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters. V'yomer Elohim yehi or, the yehi or, and the Lord said, let there be light, and there was light. V'ya'ar Elohim et ha'or kitov, and the Lord saw that the light was good. V'yabdel Elohim bein or uvein hachoshech, and God made a separation between the darkness and the light. V'yikra Elohim la'or yom, and he called the light day. V'lachoshech kara laila, and the darkness he called night. V'hierev v'hivoker yom echad, and there was evening and there was morning, a first day. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. And a year from now, we will have finished this scroll, and we'll go through this all over again. All right, let us rise now, please. Let's turn to page 374 to return the Torah scrolls to the ark. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Eitz Chaim hi lamachasikim ba v'tomcheha meushar v'rachea darchenu am v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha b'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. Please remain standing for Aleinu on page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol latet gedula le'yotzeh freshit shelo asanu piguye haratzot v'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. Please remain standing as we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This Shabbat, we remember the yardsites of Samuel Arch, Morris Barbash, Andrew P. Beck, Doris Begler, Barbara Bittner, William Brody, Otto J. Buxbaum, Harry L. Cantor, David Kramer, Eric Feldheim, Samuel Fromm, Dave Goldberg, Edith Gross, Joseph W. Gross, Eileen Singer Hurwitz, Goldie Klein, Sam Liebman, Rabbi Charles Mintz, Lali M. Nachman, Molly Platkow, Robert Allen Rokoff, Morik Sawicki, Albert Schultz, Jonathan Shreve, Bernice Siegel, Joseph Strauss, Ruth Yaskin, Rebecca Zaritsky. For those that have been named, or for those you may name within your own hearts, let's recite the Mourner's Kaddish together on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'yalma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'galav v'zman kariv v'yimaru amen, yehesh shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei kudsha barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yama v'yimaru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all of us who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say, Amen. A few announcements. There is religious school this coming Sunday, which is October 3rd. Beginning at 9 a.m. this Sunday, we will be taking down our sukkah. So if you are able or close to able and want to help, please join us at 9 a.m. so we can take apart the sukkah, put it in the garage, and have it ready for next year. If you still want to work with your hands, on October 17th, which is a Sunday morning, we are going to be working on beautifying the outside grounds before winter comes. So there'll be more information about that if you want to be working on that on the 17th. Don't forget the Sisterhood Book Review on November 4th. And let's do our closing hymn, Adon Olam, on page 625. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefsa chol azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora Adon Olam ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh Tifara Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, בחפץ החול. אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם, ביעדו אפקיד רוחי, בעת ישן ואך ירא אדון עולם, ואם רוחי גוויעתי, אדון עולי ולא ירא אדון עולם, אדון עולם. אשר מלך בטרם כל, יציר נברא לעת נשא, בחפץ החול, אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם. Now let me ask God's blessings on all of us. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers, grant us a Shabbat that is filled with joy and rest, and a week ahead that is filled with good health and peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.